I'm in Birmingham, United Kingdom, to meet with Nick Abbey to talk about communities and retirement and ageing in place.
There you go.
So we're now in Panelcroft, which is one of the ExtraCare Charitable Trust villages in Birmingham. And the Panelcroft area is certainly not one of the leafy suburbs. It's not like Edgbaston or Sutton Coldfield or some other part of Birmingham. It's an area that had a reputation for missing out, for being one of the poorer parts of Birmingham. And really, before Panelcroft arrived, there wasn't much in the way of social facilities for people living around here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now since we've got this village, we have a lot more people from the external community coming in and using facilities. We have dementia groups where we have the Royal Orchestra coming in. The Royal... cut that out. So you can edit that. So we have people from the outside community, such as the Royal Ballet, are coming in and using the facilities. A lot of work with residents with dementia, so we have orchestra sessions that help with reminiscence groups and various other things as well. So, we're pulling in a lot of stuff from the outside community to make it a central hub for the development of the community as well, and obviously that will end up developing the people within the village. And on a financial point of view as well, so saving money and hiring the village space, and bringing more growth within the village. So I think it's a really positive thing that we've got this village, and it's been 5 years now, and it's very, very solid, and there's obviously a lot more room for growth, but with a good core staff team, volunteers that will come and obviously use the facilities and give back within the community as well. I think that it's a really, really good thing that we've got.
Sounds brilliant.
Village,
And you get local residents who live nearby but don't live in the village. They're coming in here to take part in activities as well?
Yes. I mean, we're in talks of opening up a day centre, because within the outside local community, a lot of day centres are actually closing down due to lack of funding. So that's the next project to help bring in some of the potential clients from outside to use the facilities and use it for themselves as their own, like the residents do. So yeah.
And is it true that you're still offering breakdancing classes for anybody who comes along to
yes.
take part in
You have to have a good hip, but yes, but it's really good.
So I'm speaking with Nick Abbey, and Nick, we were just talking about that wonderful facility we've just seen, and we were talking about the real obvious perceptions about why the facility's been successful, because of the spirit of community. Can you briefly explain why you think that community spirit is so apparent?
I think it's several things. I think some of the people that live there have come from the local area, so they would have known each other before they moved in. The way we use volunteers, and you've seen volunteers in the shop and working on reception, they're doing a serious job for ExtraCare, but they are living there and they're taking the opportunity to do something. So it becomes important for them to be helping to run the village. And that creates a real sense of ownership. It's theirs, they want to be a part of it. And you've seen a whole range of activities there. You saw the village hall, you saw the model railway, you saw the gymnasium, you saw the area where people can have entertainers. There's a stage there. There's all kinds of things. There's a craft shop for guys who are sawing things up and making tables, making anything you like out of wood. And there's another one where they can do pottery or make clothes. And they're activities where people can do things side by side and have a good old chat. Really, no need at all to be lonely. So if you want any kind of company, if you want to chat, it's there. There's an opportunity to meet people. Don't have to be on your own. Something you can't do if you live outside. It's a scary thing when you're lonely to go into a park or a pub and hope that the person you sit down next to is the sort of person you'd want to have a conversation with.
Yeah, I think as you say, the clear observation that I learned or was able to form from that brief visit was the lack of loneliness, the the ability for people to congregate, and there were many special places or spaces in the building that were obviously well considered in the initial design of the asset.
Yeah, and what was special and what worked well a few years ago might not be the same in a few years' time. So it's important to keep it fresh and to work with the people that live there and say, well, what are the bits that still work well? I mean, we saw a big computer suite. My guess is in a year or two's time, we might not need a big computer suite because people have tablets, they do their own thing. So to work with the community and say, well, what sort of space would you like? What's the new thing? What can we provide for now? So that it keeps those areas for people to just do activities together. It's really, really important. And you saw a lot of it was based on health and fitness as well. So, you know, if people are keen to do activities and stay strong, they can do it there, but hopefully in a fun way, not in a way that feels threatening or too much like hard work.
Yep. Further piece of conversation that I would like to spend some time talking about is the issue around what Melbourne can learn from the experiences in the UK in terms of project structuring and developing successful assets for ageing in place. Is there a brief synopsis of the types of experiences that you've had as the CEO of ExtraCare?
Well, first off, I'll say that nearly all the learning needs to be the UK from Australia, because housing for older people in Australia is taken far more seriously than it is in the UK. There are a few differences I've noticed between a model that I think works particularly well here from compared with what I saw when I was in Australia. For example, the village that we've just been to, as you walk around it, 260 apartments, about half the people rent, half the people buy, and about 20% of the people need some sort of care from our on-site care team. But I couldn't tell you as we walked around those corridors, as you go past a door, I don't know on the other side of that whether someone's renting or buying and whether they get care or not. And what I noticed in my visits to Australian developments was you might have, it might all be for rent, or it might all be for sale, or there might be a care home on the site. What I didn't get the sense of was that you could stay in the same apartment no matter how serious your medical or your care needs became. So when we talk about aging in place, you're in the apartment and we can bring the care to you wherever you happen to be in that village. And I think that's important, particularly if you're someone for whom a move later in life is going to be a fairly traumatic experience. So if you're developing early onset dementia, ideally you stay in your own home, but we bring more care to you. And for me, that works rather better than saying, well, you can now move to this apartment over here and then perhaps to a care home over there. So I think that's a difference. And I like the way that we've been able to integrate poorer people with richer people. And I think that's something about how immature the UK market is, that we're able to do it. If you've got a huge choice of your retirement home, then I think people will choose to self-segregate. But when the accommodation is in such short supply, frankly, if you want to buy into it, you have to do it on our terms, because the opportunity probably doesn't exist somewhere else. So it might sound like social engineering, but having people renting and buying was always very important to us as a charitable organisation. We didn't want to think there was anybody who couldn't afford what was on offer one way or another. And at somewhere like the New Oscott village where you've just been, I think exemplifies that.